Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode in the Students' Union's Question Times series. My name is Sharif. I'm a third-year student here, and I am on the Democracy Committee and will be chairing this question time. Today, I'm here with Anastasia, Ellie, Saskia. Yeah, that sums it up for now. And they are all running for the position of Environment and Ethics Officer at the LSE Students' Union. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. So today, the structure is going to be very straightforward. I've got a collection of questions here, which I'm going to ask you in just a minute, and you'll have 30 seconds to respond. We're going to be quite strict on time, given a lot of restrictions that we have to work under. So please do watch out for this sign. When I give you this sign, it means you have 10 seconds left, and I will have to start cutting you off to make it fair for everyone else speaking. I'm going to ask the candidates to give their opening statements, again, 30 seconds, in alphabetical order. For your first name. So Anastasia, if you're ready to go first, again, please do watch out for the 10-second warning, and then I might have to cut you off, so please try to buy with the 30 seconds when you can. Anastasia, when you're ready. You're going to have to unmute your mic, I'm afraid. It happens.
Okay, sorry. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, so I'm running for the position of Environment and Ethics Officer at LSE. And I have several ideas I would like to implement. So currently, the motion is passing through the SU that the LSE should declare a climate emergency and an ecological crisis. I fully support this, and I would also want to lobby the SU to ban all plastic packaging within the LSE cafes, as well as source more sustainable food and fair trade. I'd like to promote environment conservation and volunteering opportunities and work to build and make LSE more environmentally friendly.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. Next, we'll hear from Ellie. Ellie, when you're ready.
So hi, so my name is Ellie. I'm a second-year student, and I want to run for this position to make LSE more sustainable. So I have three main goals. The first is to have greater student engagement. So I want more events for the students and by the students to engage on these important issues. The second goal that I have is to create a more sustainable campus. So I want to reduce non-recyclable plastic packaging and switch to recyclable products. I also want to recycle food waste, and I want to get rid of disposable coffee cups. And the last thing I want to do is hold LSE accountable, so to make them carbon net zero by 2030 and make them more sustainable in their practices.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Saskia, when you're ready.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well amongst these difficult times. In this crisis, the climate crisis must not be forgotten. This year, as the current officer, I have listened to student demands for more urgent, drastic and inclusive measures from the LSE regarding climate action and have successfully fought for a community consultation and sustainability survey. Please fill this out. I am the person who has been to every single meeting, and I want to continue to hold LSE accountable on all the things that have been discussed. Thank you very much.
Perfect, thank you. Now we're going to go into questions. I'm going to ask these sort of in a fair order. So now I'm going to start asking Saskia to answer first, and then Ellie, and then Anastasia, and then the question after that, Anastasia first, and then Ellie and Saskia, etc. So the first question is the following. Is the LSE doing enough to tackle climate change through its current sustainability programs, and should you work with these plans or look for an overhaul of them? Saskia, again, 30 seconds when you're ready.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, we are currently overhauling them with the sustainability consultation. Again, please fill out the survey. I have fought really hard for the community to be involved, but this is only the first step. The most important measure will be implementing a committee that is accessible to all students to continue holding the LSE accountable and have this be an ongoing discussion and not just some simple top-down changes.
Thank you. Ellie, when you're ready.
Yep, so I think what's been done this year, as Saskia's done a fantastic job this year, has been great in overhauling what LSE has currently been doing, and I think more needs to be done. So as I said, I would like to see LSE become carbon net zero rather than just carbon zero by 2030, which is one of their main goals. And I think on a more micro level, LSE could be doing more to reduce their waste output and their energy intake. So being more sustainable in practice, they need to do more kind of within the campus to reduce their waste and to actually become more sustainable in that regard. So I think LSE needs to do that as well as holding accountable for their bigger picture support for unsustainable practices.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Anastasia, when you're ready.
I do think LSE is doing something for the moment that entire university is also...
Anastasia, I'm very sorry, but you're a bit quiet. You can have the full 30 seconds again.
Oh,
if you could
sorry.
speak louder or closer to the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that's better. Brilliant.
Okay, I'll speak louder. Sorry about that. Okay, so I do think LSE is doing some things. However, I do think LSE could do more. For example, LSE wants to use this scheme to offset its carbon emissions. However, I do think LSE should also work to reduce its carbon emissions. It could do that by banning plastic packaging, reducing food waste, and also doing more to improve biodiversity around the school as well.
Perfect. Thank you all for that first question. Our next question is, why are environment and ethics joined in your title, in your role description? Anastasia, if you'd like to have a crack at that first.
So I do think that environment and that ethics are intertwined, because to be ethical, you have to care about the environment that you live in, you have to care about your world, and you can't go about doing all these things, using plastic, polluting, and then expecting yourself to be an ethical person when you're not caring about nature and the world you live in. So I do think it's an intrinsic part of everyone's life to care for the world, and we should do that, and we should be doing more. We're at LSE. We are LSE students. We have so many resources available for us to use, and we should honestly lead this change. Do I have 10 seconds left? Or
no, I'm afraid no.
Okay.
But thank you. That was good. Ellie, when you're ready.
Yeah, so I think when we think of sustainability, we often just think of environmental issues as its own singular kind of way to make change. And I think the reason that these are intertwined in this role is that when we think of sustainability, we need to think of social sustainability, economic sustainability, and environmental sustainability intertwined together. And when we think about us as ethical people and kind of the impact that we have on our world, we need to take into these different factors. So I think it's really important to have these two intertwined in the role so that when we're making decisions about the environment and about LSE, we're taking into all these different factors.
Thank you. Brilliant. Saskia?
Hi, yeah, I think both of these titles have been chosen because inherently sustainability is not just about the planet, it is about the people as well. In all the things we're discussing at the moment, sustainable investment, offsetting, carbon net zero by whatever, we need to take into account the way people's lives are affected by that and the future generations that will be affected by that, and not just us. So I think it's really obvious to me why those two have been chosen, and it's important to consider both.
Thank you very much. Okay. The next is a question that other candidates for other positions have also been asked, but it's, what experience in student leadership do you have that makes you fit for this role? I believe Saskia, if that's okay for you to start with.
Yeah, sure. So as I've mentioned, I have been in this role this year, but my best experiences have been really liaising with the community, so engaging with the Climate Emergency Collective, engaging with the Decolonizing, the LSE Collective, engaging with the Justice for Cleaners campaign, and listening to their views, listening to them, and not just being a leader in my own projects, but being really a vehicle for students' voices to be heard at a bigger level.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We're getting a lot better at sticking to the time scale, which is brilliant. Ellie, when you have a chance?
Yeah, so this year I've been the president of Lawyers Without Borders in the Law Society, and I've been the head of the Model United Nations Division. So I have a lot of experience in event engagement with what students are demanding, what students would like to see, as well as also having really great student outreach to students who typically may not be a target audience in these regards. So I've had experience engaging students in nude issues, so I hope to kind of use that experience within this role as well.
Perfect, thank you. Anastasia, you ready?
Okay, so I've always cared about the environment. When I was in secondary school last year, I was in Geography Society, Environment Society, and I was also a Green Team member, so I led various initiatives within my school, such as launching a Green Day in the summer where people could find out more about the environment and what's impacting it, such as climate change, which became an annual event. And I was also the head of Economic Society at Henrietta Barnett School, so I have leadership skills. And here at LSE, I have attended most of the environment consultations, so I have experience of that too.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, all of you, for that. This is probably going to be the penultimate question. How will you balance your role in terms of advocating for sustainability at LSE, representing students that have elected you, and also sort of the budgetary, economic, more establishment concerns that comes with these causes that you champion? If you can talk about that for 30 seconds. Anastasia, starting with you.
Okay, so I do believe that it is important to lead a role, and the LSE does have a budget for the environment. So far, most of the LSE departments will contribute to carbon offsetting by paying £15 per tonne of CO2 emitted. However, that can increase. The school does have enough funding to do this, and we should use all our resources to work for our environment.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Ellie?
Yeah, so as I said before, I think of sustainability as including economic, environmental, and social sustainability. And I think the way to balance these interests is by having an open dialogue. So anytime you're achieving a goal, it's important to have these different factors and present them in a way as why they're going to benefit all three strands. And I think by working with LSE and with the student community and having an open dialogue on these big issues, whether that's LSE's climate impact, or to do with food waste, or to do with waste reduction, having an open dialogue about this would be the most beneficial thing to achieve these goals in a balanced manner.
Thank you. Saskia?
Yeah, so I think the biggest benefit we see in this debate is that the LSE already has so many resources in place. Mostly it's about changing the way we think and changing the way we act, and that means mostly limiting our consumption.
Saskia, I think we lost you there.
Absolutely unnecessary. This would not only cut carbon. Hello?
Oh, we lost you there. Would you like to give your statement again? Your answer to that question in full.
Yes. So I think the biggest benefit we're seeing here is that actually acting more environmentally means cutting consumption. That means that we need to change the way we think, and we need to change the way we act. And for example, cutting business flights would free up a lot of money and would be much better for the environment. So I think it is about thinking of the budget, but also thinking about what we already have in place and the resources we already can use.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I think we're going to have to move on to our last question, I'm afraid. So the final question, and you can take a minute to think about this, it's what phrase best sums up your campaign and why you're the best candidate? So this is not a slogan that you've already put on the website. Thank you for doing that, though. It's what phrase. So you can have a minute to think about it, and when you're ready, you can just unmute your mic and say it. This is a good way to sum up your position as a candidate for those watching at home.
So I would say we're in this together. I'd say we're in this together. It's our world, it's our environment, and we need to make a change.
Brilliant. Thank you, Anastasia.
Yeah, so I would say working together for a sustainable campus and a sustainable future, and to hold ourselves and LSE accountable for our actions.
Perfect. Thank you. Saskia, when you're ready.
Hi. Yeah, I would probably say climate justice for LSE and for all, going beyond our campus and including the world in our efforts.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you all so much for coming. Apologies for all the technical issues, and I hope that those watching at home have been able to get a better sense of who their candidates are and where they stand. Best of luck to all the candidates. Thank you very much for joining us today, Anastasia, Ellie, and Saskia. If we do get a statement from other candidates, we'll be sure to disseminate that as well. And take care, everyone.
And please fill out the survey, please. Thank you. Bye.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Due to some technical difficulties, one candidate wasn't able to participate fully in the interviews, and that was Taeyang from Environment and Ethics. So we've got a statement from them that I'm going to read out very briefly now. LSE SU's bank, which is NatWest, invests in fossil fuels and arms. If elected, Taeyang will switch it to a more ethical and sustainable bank, such as Triodos, by liaising with staff, trustees, and communities. Taeyang has 3 years of experience on various committees dealing with socially responsible and ethical policies at King's College London. It is absolutely important and feasible to switch the SU's bank to a more sustainable one. We need to raise our voice and stand up for it. That's for Taeyang for Environment and Ethics.